Hi there, my name's Nate. I'm the lead UX UI designer at HeroX.com, and today I'm going to walk you through a new prototype and strategy targeting crowdsourcing jobs on our homepage. So today we know that there's between 100 and 1,000 average monthly searches for crowdsourcing jobs, and with our mission to eradicate unemployment across the world, I have deliberately targeted crowdsourcing jobs here to discover if that's worth our time and to validate that idea. So here, um, right away, you can see that we focused on newest challenges, and they're ordered by, the newest on top and older on the bottom, with a load more call to action at the bottom to load more um, challenges and visit the explore page where they can filter and do more things. But what you'll notice right away is that there's a start your project for $79 call to action here. Post a sample project that reaches 70,000 plus people from around the world. I think that number is more like 80,000 now, but the focus here is hiring. Okay, so let's start our project. And here you'll notice that we are taken to the pricing page, where we can say join over 80 plus brands and organizers using crowdsourcing as the third form of labor. So you'll notice that this content is very similar to what we have on the possibilities deck. Here we have the pricing table as we have it today. I'll be honest that the volume discounts are not applicable at this stage gate in the process here. So you could probably remove the volume discounts and all those percentages and just raise the price on the green and raise the price on the white label. And instead of the call us here, we could probably just focus on having this be a testimonial. And there's a slew of other things you could put on this page too, but for this we'll just stay focused here. So let's say we chose white label. And right here, instead of just simply asking to title it or overwhelming with a lot of options, we're specifically focused here on title your project. So here I've said, oh, my title is Video Games Playing with Imagination. And you'll notice that we have the help text for the short description. That's important because the short description with 140 characters or less actually gives us the gusto we need for a good headline. Whereas today the title is more suited or better suited for the challenge title or page title in SEO terms, page title. So down here we have explain the problem you want to solve. And you'll notice that there's a WYSIWYG here where I can add video and images and tables and so forth. And this is really important because we've taken one input field and there's a lot of features that already come with it. And so we're writing on the back of that that overview is what typically this is. And so here that now has become a prominent thing for the bare essentials for a challenge or a project, whatever you call it. Title and explaining the problem you want to solve in the overview. I think some people have mentioned that there are some knowledge base or some tips and tricks here for overview and your title that's missing. We can certainly add those here and A/B test as we see fit. So let's save and continue now that we've filled out our thing. Right away, you'll notice that I got to log in to save this, and we'll go ahead and log in with Facebook. And here we're at the preview page. So we have a preview page today. Here we're saying review it and publish it. We also have them by default opted into our CrowdPiper coaching service so they can get some consulting. And you'll notice that because there wasn't an image required to get started here, we have a different layout. We still have the tabs in the tab bar here, partitioning the body copy from the headline and calls to action. And that's because they can still trigger and still add those things as they want to improve their challenge. But at this stage, they're really just validating an idea before they get too hot and heavy about this. So here they can review it and publish it. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll notice that This user profile is mine, and you can follow me here. I can share, comment, or vote up this challenge, or I could register for it. So we're explicitly segmenting follow from the challenge and just using vote up. If I scroll to the bottom, you'll notice that I have a comments panel here. And let's say this was live already, we could be having the conversations here, and the conversation is about the challenge. Versus today with the forum, you get into deeper conversations in multiple topic areas that stray from the main challenge, that the main idea we're trying to validate here. Whereas comments, they are very linear, and then you can stay on topic to the most part. We can add other features here too, like frequently asked questions. So if there's one that shows up a lot in comments, we can nominate that as a FAQ in the back end or automatically. Also, we can allow the ideas to be swapped back and forth here as they brainstorm. So it becomes a more engaging page. So let's say I'm ready to publish. So let's go ahead and publish. Ask me for my credit card information, because remember, our white label is $79 here, so I'm going to enter that in. Say remember me, that's my email. Great, confirm and pay. And now it says, get your first 10 innovators, or whatever, share on social networks. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and share on Facebook. I want to get my first 10 innovators. So I'll click to share on Facebook, and voila. Now it says you've published your project successfully. View it on the home page. And I can click that and go visit the home page. And also automatically, when I get to this page, it says, what's next? Improve your project so more people can find and participate in it. Well, I'd love to get more people to participate in my challenge. I'd love to improve it. So let me go check that out. What's next? Okay. So here we are at the new metrics dashboard. And I started off with metrics because that's how I measure how I'm doing and how I can improve. This is the needle or the dial that moves. So right away we start them off with community, how many followers, how many competitors they have. Down here they have their members here, and they can send them a group message, add moderators, judges, you name it. Down here they have sort of legacy metrics that we may or may not keep. For example, country, you may see a map there. But leading with metrics allows us to measure this. Next, we have Edit Overview. Here you'll see the same fields that we saw when we first started. So this should be very familiar. I can change it and tweak it, and that's all grand. Here, legal agreement, we started off with the innovator keeps IP. That way, the innovators, that's their incentive for actually registering for this challenge in the first place. So by default, they should always have the innovator keep the IP, or I'm also open to open source. It really depends on our collective thinking. But this is just me taking a simple approach here, or they can add their own custom legal agreement altogether. But today, we have it set to be determined, which isn't helpful for anyone. It's better to have smart defaults than it is to have some barrier to actually publishing. So here, we have a smart default. Innovator keeps IP. The next one is edit the entry form. Now, by default, title, short description, and image are the suggested forms for submitting an entry. Okay, so if you register for a challenge, this would be the form that you get to register for right away. Now, as a challenge moderator or organizer, I can come in here and edit the title label to something else, like tell me your name. Or I can edit the short description label here, like tell me about your project idea, your solution. And I can edit this image one. Maybe I want a video, so I can say video, give me a video, and I can add other fields. But this way, we don't just start them off with like, this is what it looks like. These are standard fields, but we actually start them off with the real deal, the real thing. It's a smart default, again. And they would be able to, delete these if they don't want. They're like, no, I don't want an image. on the entry. I don't need it. I just need the text, right? We can let them do that. Okay, so the next thing is called add short URL. And you're like, wait a second, Nate. We asked for that today. Where does the page exist if it doesn't have a URL? Well, we actually do have it exist. It exists under Crowdsourcing Projects URL as a number. So essentially what we're doing is we will continue to create challenges under the Crowdsourcing Projects directory. However, we allow them to sort of upgrade their challenge here. Now, there's room to be for them to pay. They're basically getting a custom URL here. So that's actually valuable, especially for white label centric people who want a more recognizable URL, something that's sort of like an affiliate URL, if you will. So here they can say like herox.com/Coca-Cola or XYZ challenge, and they may feel that'll get them more participation and be more memorable. It's sort of like a branding exercise. And they can take it a step further by having their own subdomain. And later on, we can maybe add things here like, do you have an external challenge you want to link to, or what have you? So we can always improve this. But this blue text here is totally supporting the value of adding a short URL and how it improves one's challenge. Same thing with adding an image. An image is a great way to improve your project. So here we have the upload image button. We tell them the recommended sizes and the recommended art direction, so to speak. Again, later we can get like partnerships with iStock or Getty or Unsplash or you name it, and we can have them use their API to allow people to access images right away. But for now, this is just totally reliant on what's on a person's desktop, unfortunately. But we'll get there. This just at least enforces and encourages uploading an image. The next one is video. Again, we did have a partnership with DrawShop, so it's another conversation piece here. How a video supports conversion and how it can increase your engagement on the page by 60%. This is a great thing, and they can upload a video here, a URL, and improve their challenge. Or they could even click on through to our partner website and get their video done, and we can take a cut from that as per our partnership agreement. The next one is add keywords. Now today we ask for categories early on, and we give them like the decision for 5, and we also have hashtag buried somewhere, and then we also have tags and etc. Now what we're doing here is we're just calling them all keywords because that's really what they are. And the benefit of having keywords like categories, tags, hashtags, you name it, is just discoverability and searchability on search engines and social media websites. That's it. So by selecting a category, you will increase your discoverability. So it's recommended you choose one. Doesn't mean that you won't be on the newest listing. You'll still be the newest challenge without a category. But you'll also be able to run into more organic traffic. Let's say if you select design as the first one, because we also are targeting crowdsourcing design projects, and you can show up there. Without it, you won't. So you'll increase your reach by adding keywords. Same thing with hashtags on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, wherever hashtags are supported, and tags in general, you'll be able to show up in those search queries. We have global search on HeroX. This is a great place to add a tag. So that's adding keywords. The next one is timeline. Adding a timeline can give your challenge a sense of urgency, right? You don't need a timeline by default, especially if you're not in any hurry and if you want this thing to last forever, so be it. But here you can auto-generate a timeline by saying the start and the end date, and once you do that, it will pre-populate the judging time for you and the winner's announcement for you. Of course, you can edit that later, similar to the way you could edit your entry form. But you can also add custom events and so forth. But it's not required by default. It's a way to improve your challenge because by having that countdown clock on your challenge, you have this sense of urgency now that transpires to the participants and people that land on your challenge. So it's a great idea to improve your challenge and get more submissions. The next one is add judging. This one's a little heavier because we've combined guidelines and judging criteria into one thing called judging. Also, you can add judges here. So we've really just boxed all the judging stuff into one panel here. And we've did things like move invite by email next to add judge, just to give things proximity so you know what you're doing. By default, we'll have an NDA for judges already. By default, we'll have basic judging criteria, design, usability, creativity, and content. These things can be edited and customized, but at least we're starting with smart defaults here. Again, by default, we'll show judges because it gives a sense of community and a sense of notoriety and recognition for judges. If they don't want that, then that's to their discretion. They can enter guidelines here to give them a nice overview of the judging criteria, and then they can select the judging criteria, edit it, and what have you. So it's just a simple way. I think today these things are in like 3 different places, and it's cumbersome to use. So right away we can just simplify that by putting them all on the same page and improve and demonstrating how judging can improve it. There's also opportunity here for us to advertise our judging support feature and services, which is I think a $15,000 feature service that we provide. It's a great place here. You could have a banner across the top and say like, take judging off your plate, have more than 1,000 entries. You'll likely want our judging support or something of that nature. So great upgrade there. Enable resources, again, boosting this idea that there's no gatekeepers, there's no bias, there's no prerequisite to entering a challenge. The resources tab is the holy grail for people that have talent but don't have the degree in what the challenge may be requiring. So this is a great place to add resources and to show them they can extend and improve their challenge. This is probably the #1 reason why people exit a challenge page, because they think that they don't have the skill to actually compete in it. So enabling resources is a benefit to the organizer because you'll be able to reach those people and get less bounce and get less exiting on your landing page, so to speak. So this is a great thing to enable here. Adding press. So if your challenge is featured in a magazine article or another blog, or you can even add things here that are applicable, so a related topic to your challenge you can add press to. Like, look how big this social trend is. It's impacting everyone. It's a magazine article in the New York Times. This is impacting everyone. It may be information architecture, it may be 3D printing, it may be drones, it may be, you name it. Any of this new trending stuff, if that topic is in relation to your challenge, you might be able, that's a benefit to you to add that here to show the legitimacy of what you're doing with your challenge. That you may be solving an epidemic or a systemic problem in society and showing that with press. And also, if you get press from that because your challenge is making a change, making an impact, a movement is gathered, then you'll also have a place to put that. So that's really what press and enabling that can do for you. Last but not least, certainly, is the prize amount. Now again, this is a great way to improve your challenge because you're going to be incentivizing people with money. And perhaps we could have other options here for incentivizing people and encourage the challenge sponsor to at least say, like, get 5 hours of consulting from me if you enter, whatever it is, right? There can be some non-monetary features here. So, but this is where you would put that. And turning that on would actually trigger the 9% transaction fee. That's why we don't necessarily need to have that on the pricing table in the beginning, because at that time they don't have prize enabled. It's not required for your challenge to be a success for you to have a prize amount. It's not required at all, and actually it's just an added feature, one that you pay for. And I would invite us all to think of other, like for example, judging, the short URL, especially if you get a white label URL, and the incentive prize. Those three are places where we can charge, or we do charge money for it. If we provided an image service, a video service, SEO service, timeline service, like moderation, judging, we already do that. Resources, what if we provided the wiki service for them? Press, what if we help them do a press release? These are ideas that now can transpire if we have a nice clean edit dashboard like we see now. So now I can go view my challenge, and here I am, voila. And that's it. So thanks so much for listening and staying with it. I hope to see you on the next one.